I'm going to tell you how you can get bumper crops from your fruit and vegetables. And in many cases, it's just a matter of water. And watering can be a nightmare. Whether you're on an allotment or whether you've got your own kitchen garden at home, making sure the timing and the quantity and the method of watering can be very difficult, especially on an allotment. Because you're out there, sometimes you're sharing a water point. There's generally no electric out there for anything automatic anyway. And queuing to get your hose clipped on can be a nightmare. Wouldn't it be great if you were totally self-sufficient? Not only self-sufficient in the water that you need, but also to have somebody to catch you back. If you're away on holiday, if you've got a couple of work things and you can't get to the allotment to give it a water and there's a drought and you're back and forth, if there was something like a little angel to help you with the watering and management of your crops, you could grow so much more, tastier and healthier food. Well, let's start, because we get a lot of energy and power from the sun, and we get a lot of water from the rain. So there's a clever device that utilises both of that, sunshine and rainwater, and that can automatically water your whole garden. And it's this little unit here, the Irrigatia, which has got a pump that is solar powered, enabling you to take water that you've stored from your water butts and water the area of garden that you have. Now, I've done something quite clever with the water butts. I put a corrugated roof on the shed. It makes it much more functional to channel the water in to the guttering into the water butt. And on the other side, I've got the same guttering, and it comes along the back here to feed into this water butt. And then I've joined two other water butts all together. So as it rains, they're filling simultaneously. So I've got three good tanks here. Now, I've put the irrigation system around some of the plants here. Here I've used a 12. Okay, so it's going to do all of my currants, and it's going to move my cheeky sweet peas at the end. If I wanted to do the guzgogs or the rhubarb, I can add another one on, making it 24 in total. And on average, one of these 100 litres will last for just over a week. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3 weeks worth if there's a drought for 3 weeks. Obviously, if it rains in between, it's topping it back up, which should cover you comfortably for your 2 weeks holiday. And if you put a little bit of food into the water butts, and I generally put only 25% of the recommended concentrate in, really, because you're watering on a regular basis with this rather than, you know, just feeding every other water or something similar to that. So I just do 25% of the recommended dilution rate in the water butts, and then it comes through the pipes. The little pump inside here draws water from the water butt, and here I've got some tubing, water tubing around that feeds these little soaker rings. So I put a soaker ring around each of my currants here. The water goes through and seeps out into the soil. And unlike just going around with a hose or a watering can, it is slow drip. So it is penetrating deep into the soil. And don't forget, it's rainwater. It's no chlorine, no fluorides, it's natural rainwater, which seeps better into the soil and is a lot kinder, not only to the plants themselves, but also the microorganisms in the soil. So this is one that does 12, it's a slightly smaller unit, and it does 12, which is doing all of my currants and all of my sweet peas. If I wanted to do the whole bed, I wouldn't put a 12 in, I'd put a 24, or if you've already got a 12, you just buy another 12. So it covers the whole bed and utilises the water that comes down from the sky's natural rainwater and harvests the sun to be able to power and distribute it. Now over here, on this bed here, where I'm just getting started with my peas and beans, I'm using one Irrigatia unit, and I'm putting on a flat hose. Now inside the flat hose there is a tubing, a water tubing, which is perforated, so it allows a steady progression of water coming out, and you get 25 meters worth, completely self-irrigating thanks to the sun and the rainwater. And 25 meters, you can cut and move it just as you wish, one straight line of crops. Here I've done a rectangle around the outside of my A-frame Pea and Bean support, and here's just to give you an example. There's some short runs, there's some crisscrosses, there's some boxing, whatever you need to do, and this whole bed is watered and fed from this little unit here. Guess what? so's this hanging basket attached it to, and it runs to the back. Obviously the water comes off the greenhouse roof into that water butt. The little power there from the pump takes the water and completely irrigates the area. It's totally flexible to chop and change as you wish. Now inside the greenhouse, have a look at this. And for the greenhouse, I've got another unit just here that's not only watering all the trays in the greenhouse, but also this hanging basket and those two in the ceiling, plus the all-important tomatoes. Now I've got 3 tomatoes in there. I've also got an aubergine, I've got a cucumber, and I've got a pepper, and all of these have been watered by fresh rainwater and pumped in by sunshine from the Irrigatia unit here. If you're wanting bumper crops, making sure that water and food is readily available is key. So with Irrigatia, even if you had an allotment in the middle of a field with no electric, no water, Irrigatia can take care of your plants by watering them automatically, harvesting the sun and using rainwater, which is fresher and healthier for your plants. And if you add food into the water butt, you're feeding them too. So the thought of an allotment or the back of the garden, it makes it even easier to use. It's all about timing, quantity and method, and Irrigatia has got your back. For more information, just go to the website irrigatia.com.